Welcome back to this week's edition of Modern Tech and Transformation. This week, I have Infrastructure Solution Architect Lokesh Yadav with me. Welcome, Lokesh.
Thank you.
And since it's your first time on the podcast, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
All right. Thanks for first of all for calling me on this podcast, and it's been a great journey. I have 17 years of experience in infrastructure solutions, and I've been working on moreover towards the data centers and the cloud solutions what we provide to our customers. And I look overall on the hardware, OS, network, sort of storage devices, and all those kind of stuff from past 17 years.
Well, wonderful. We're excited to have you. And today we are going to discuss exactly what your experience is in, and that is infrastructure. So let's talk about cloud infrastructure, why it's become this foundational component that many businesses use to enhance and scale their operations.
So cloud infrastructure is like from past 5 years has grown a lot because looking at the cost perspective, looking at the man hours perspective. So in terms of like being in a data center, you have to put in man hours, you have to put in the new hardwares, you need to put in your buying the more cost for buying the hardwares and defining not only cost for the hardware, it's the storage related component, it's a network related component. So all those kind of things looking at companies are looking at onto a one place, one stop shop where they can have everything in one place. So cloud infrastructure, I would say, is a very flexible and very vast in terms of geographically. If you see that has become given a big impact to our industry right now.
Do you find enterprises leaning more towards a one cloud solution, a hybrid cloud, where they're on multiple different clouds, or a mix of like on-prem cloud? What are you seeing most in the market right now in regards to infrastructure?
So in regards to this thing, customers are looking for right now. They are looking for the hybrid cloud solutions more because it depends because everything now changes with the application functionality. There are multiple applications which are platform specific, which are infrastructure specific. According to that, customers are opting it for. But for current situation, current trend is a hybrid cloud, as what I would say. Like people are looking for multiple platforms, for looking at their storage structure, looking at the network, looking at the cybersecurity. So those kind of aspects, if they look into their organization, I would say they are looking for a hybrid cloud solutions.
And does that have more complexity than just a single cloud
It
infrastructure?
has a little bit complexity, but there are other aspects of it. There are other tools in the market which can monitor your hybrid cloud, which can do the stuff on your hybrid cloud. So those kind of stuff is possible. So it was complex down the line past 2 years back, but no more anymore. There are many things available in the market right now which can monitor your hybrid cloud, which can deploy your hybrid cloud, which can support your hybrid cloud.
Yeah, I've seen our Juno Cloud Sense AI
Yes,
platform.
yes, I agree. That's a very good platform which we designed recently, and that's helping our customer a lot. They have multiple cloud, they have problems with managing, monitoring, deploying, all those kind of things which we are doing through Juno Cloud. That's a pretty good thing in the market right now.
I know, it's exciting. I love integrating AI.
Yes,
If
and
you
that AI ML is an icing
Mhm.
on top of it. I would say that when you integrate your AI ML with that, with the Juno and others aspects, your hybrid clouds like run smooth.
So I know you work a lot with AIX and RIMS. Let's
Yes.
talk about that. Let's define it, and then why does it play a critical role in infrastructure?
Yeah, so AIX is kind of one of the dependent and one of the most used OSs, just like Linux. It's not different, but it's a little bit a proprietary software from a company, but it's a pretty stable operating system. I would say that I have seen. I have seen the servers not rebooted from 2000 days. It's not good for the server, but I have seen the stability. Customers, they don't want to reboot because of their legacy environment or whatever, but they are vulnerable. But still, that's what my main point for saying is AIX is stable. And RIMS is kind of remote infrastructure management services, what we provide from our side. It's a kind of managed services for our customers where we remotely proactively monitor our servers, either AIX or Linux or any other network devices or storage infrastructure. So RIMS is a good for monitoring your infrastructure, for supporting your infrastructure remotely for any customer. So and that is very much needed right now in the organization because I have seen the customers where they're lacking on monitoring their servers because they don't monitor. It goes towards the vulnerability, it goes towards non-patching cycles, all those things happen.
Yeah, and then things can go downhill
go down
very quickly.
very quickly. It goes down very quickly, out of hands, and you're so backward that for patching them, end of the day, you go into a situation where they say that vendor says that rebuild the server, and that is not at all good for
Yeah.
for an organization.
And you work with a lot of regulated industries.
Yes.
So making sure their cloud infrastructure is running 24/7 optimally is a big deal.
Is big deal, really big deal. That's why the geographic location comes in picture in cloud. So if you have multiple servers, you can run it in different geographies. You can have your clusters inside it. You can have your high availability defined, how you want to define your application highly available at one zone at a time. And even if that zone goes down, how your second zone takes over, those kind of stuff.
Yeah, and you all manage it really well.
Yes,
So,
we manage it perfectly well because we have multiple cloud infrastructure. I'm dealing with hybrid cloud for one of our customers right now, and they're pretty happy with our support. So that's what we are doing RIMs for the cloud as well as their on-prem data center. They have multiple clouds as well as they have their own data center.
And that's why we invited you on the podcast to really talk about these best practices.
Yes, that's the best practices. Right now, I'm dealing with the disaster recovery stuff as well, even on the cloud as well as on the on-prem. We have both the solution which we are helping on the customers right now.
Do you want to dive into that a little bit more?
Yeah, so we have active passive data center in our customer locations. Multiple customers are there where we do our DR annually as well as quarterly for them. And we do the work from restoring the data within 24 hours for the critical application, as well as for the cloud. We have a DR zone for them when they need a DR. We usually do it like once a year for them because they recently implemented the DR zones. So that's what we are targeting right now.
With disaster recovery, there's also OS patching to ensure the integrity of the system.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, OS patching is one of the critical thing which customers they actually don't do, which I always suggest them look at their vulnerabilities, look at their patches released and all those. They usually fail on it. So there are tools available in the market which we use and which we always use for the customers, letting them know, okay, this is what you need to patch within cycles, or you have quarterly cycle, yearly cycle, monthly cycle, but you need to do, because OS patching is not easy. It takes time. It is time consuming activity, and it is like if I do a patching, if it doesn't comes up, then it's another problem. So usually customer gets scared with that, but we have no other choice, because you have malwares outside, you have vulnerabilities, you have hackers, you have many things. Your old patches might not save you with that. So we have to keep doing that. So patching is one of the things which I always insist on the customers. Either you are on a cloud or either you are on-prem, you have to keep on doing with your cycles, either monthly or quarterly.
Absolutely. And are there ways or areas you found that have created efficiencies or automation in patching to streamline the process?
Yes, that's the other aspect of patching. If customers are scared with the patching, yes, there are automation tools available. I would name one. Ansible is one of the good tools which we use for our customer, which we schedule our patches for every monthly. So those kind of schedules we can do. So there are multiple tools available in the market which we can implement for any of our customers, and which we are existingly doing it. And maintaining the critical patches is the biggest concept in the market. If you don't maintain your critical patches on your servers, it's gonna be downhill for the organization.
Absolutely. So I feel like every time I read news on LinkedIn or even turn on business news, I hear about cyber security attacks.
Yes.
So with the increased vulnerability a lot of organizations are seeing in the market, what advice do you have in combating those cybersecurity attacks and the sophistication levels that they're reaching?
Yeah, that's the one of the thing. We have ethical hacking, we have non-ethical hacking right now, but there are penetration tests which we can do to the network for our organization to be safe. There are companies that are doing penetration tests to the network, to the storage devices, to the servers, but I would still say the customers or the organization which don't have encryption enabled, definitely enable your encryption on at least on your data to make your data secure. Keep the backups available for your data backups. Even if you have to scrap something, you can rebuild it again. Those kind of things, like multi-factor authentication is one of the big things which customers can use for their cyber attacks. Those kind of stuff customers needs to involve in.
Yeah, and I've seen some of them. They are getting so sophisticated. I think I get a phishing email at least once a week, if not more.
Yes, I'm telling you, like phishing is one of the good thing which usually people do, and we get trapped out of it. For trapping, coming out of those traps are one of the biggest challenges customers have is the password. Password management in organization is really important. If you don't do those kind of be problematic for customers. And I have seen there are many password management tools, there are vaults, there are many things which customers or organization can involve in.
And that's all really good advice and
Yes.
very valuable for our audience.
Yeah.
And to wrap up, any success stories with your infrastructure that you'd like to share? I always like to end on a high note.
There are many actually, but we have a customer which past 10 years I've been working with RTS. So past 10 years back, I joined RTS. At the time I was being given a objective to, we had clusters for a customer. They were like so old that end of the day, the vendor or the company who was having that software installed, they said, you need to rebuild. Then RTS got involved, and we did a managed service for them for doing it, and as a 6 month project, and those clusters were upgraded in place because customer didn't want to invest time, get more hardware, more storage, all those kind of stuff. So we did almost like 50 plus clusters for customer upgraded in place. And it had a challenging thing because we have to hop on from one level to other level, and which vendor was not supporting. We said, okay, we'll take it up. We'll do it internally. And we did it internally and successfully completed it in 6 months. And secondly, we had a vulnerability issues for a customer, one of our customers, which they were not patched for almost like 6 years.
Wow.
I would say. And same question, vendor said, either you upgrade them in place, it's going to be not supported by us, but you can definitely build a new one and get your data backed up and restored. I said, no, it's not a good solution. Then we had some different solution for a customer, which made a big impact to them, and we did again an in-place vulnerability patching for servers. We did migrations and we did upgrades too, but end of the day, they were in green zone.
That's wonderful.
Yep.
That's wonderful
Thank
to
you.
hear. But thank you for your time. I think you shared a lot of valuable information with the audience, and appreciate you coming on the podcast this week.
Thank you very much. It was a good platform to discuss.
Thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate it.